All right, so for everyone that actually follows along my channel, obviously you know that this 1981 C30 two-wheel drive dump truck is what I've been using for probably the last, I don't know, 2 years. And it's been a very, very good dump truck to me. I've put a lot of money and time into it to get it to where it's at. But at the end of the day, it's two-wheel drive, and sometimes that just doesn't get you out of a pinch. And with towing my excavator and stuff, this is really not, you know, equipped to be doing that. So I have finally decided to pull the trigger, and today I bought a 2005 Chevrolet 3500 dually with a dump, and came with a snow plow. And I'm super excited. Came from a local landscaper, so I got to take the decals off. But I mean, look at this dump bed. It is like practically brand new. I mean, yeah, you have a little bit of surface rust from, like, you know, where some of the rocks dribbled on it, but I mean, overall amazing condition. 2005, only has 50,000 or 52,000 miles on it. This last owner only put 3,000 miles on it in or 2,000 miles on it in 3 years. So I don't know, I'm super stoked. I just, for the first time in my life, ran a snow plow, and well, it's a little soft over there, but I got four-wheel drive, so I was able to back right out of it. If it was that dump truck, I would have been towing it out with my excavator. So there's some stuff I want to do. I'm going to pull the decals off this. It looks like maybe my emergency brake cable is hanging there, so I got to work on that. The E light, or the out of gas light, is on. I was reading online, it says that could just be the float has come disconnected from inside the tank, so I gotta look into that. And then one other thing, I just need to double check. There's a slight smell of mice inside the cab, so I gotta dig apart the dash a little bit, see if I can find anything in there. But I mean, just solid dump floor, no holes, no actual rust. Came with 2 summer rims and tires for the front, a spare dually tire and rim, and a spare tire in general in case one of these pops, or you get a nail or something in on a job site. So I mean, overall, inside of the truck is pretty clean. You have the normal tear in the seat for this body style right here where you enter and exit, but overall it's not destroyed in here. It's just a huge upgrade from a 1981. I would really love to keep my 1981, but I think I am gonna sell it. It doesn't really make sense to have it just sitting around with not having a garage yet. I can't even, you know, turn it into a project vehicle because it'll just sit here, and that's the worst thing for these things, especially in a field. It'll take on mice, it'll take on moisture, and it'll just end up having too many problems. So that will be going for sale. But yeah, so stay tuned to see anything I tinker with this and me actually using it, and thanks for watching. All right, so the last owner I bought it from, he had a landscaping business, and he had decals on the door here. These decals have been on for about 3 years now. So I'm just gonna take a heat gun, warm them up a little bit, peel them off, and then at the end, when there's still some leftover adhesive, I'll use a little goof off, wipe it down, and we should be back to bare door. So let's see if we can get it to peel off. All right, looks like it's gonna work. So I'll just keep I'll just keep peeling here, and once I get it all off, we'll get out the goof off, and we'll get it all cleaned up. So all the large decals are off now, and I'm gonna wipe it down with some goof off and see if we can get it back to just the white paint. All right, so I just have some professional strength goof off, and just wet your rag a little bit with it. We'll take the wet portion of the rag and just go right over any of the adhesive and just basically wipe it down, and it just takes it right off. Now a lot of people take it an extra step further once they do this, and they actually use polishing compound on the door to get any of the faded marks. But fortunately for me, these decals were only on there for roughly 3 years. So yes, there's some fading that happens in 3 years, over the course of 3 years, but luckily not much in this case. All right, look at that. Back to white door. Now I can put my own decals on there. All right, now I got the decal cleaned off. I actually got a magnet for the door, so I can take it on and off when I'm on a job site versus not on one. Accidentally bought a little bit too large of one, but that's ideally what it's going to look like. Just basically company name, my phone number, and I'm going to get one that fits actually just where the white part of the door is, and then this way it'll look better and it'll actually hold on better, because I mean, it's still, you know, it's magnetic. It'll still go through this rhino liner, but since it's here where this air gap is, the air might get behind it and pull it off going down the road. So yeah, stay tuned for a better magnet. All right, so my other dump truck didn't actually have a hitch receiver. This one does. So I had to go buy a new setup here for the pintle so we can hook onto the trailer. The trailer was frozen to the ground, but it looks like it has since melted enough to get us out. We're gonna get this out, and we're going to load up the 2 dozers. I've been tarping them, but it's getting really annoying trying to pull all this heavy snow off the tarps. And if anything, the tarps are just trapping the moisture in there, which is actually negatively impacting them. So I actually just got a self-storage unit. We're gonna haul each one up to the storage unit, squeeze them in there, and let them sit there for the next couple months so they can stay out of the elements. But all right, let's get this trailer hooked up. So this is just a generic 10 by 20 storage unit. I'm throwing down this conveyor belt so I don't leave any potential marks. Come on now. I'll have to get the exact width once I get the machine over here, but it should work. Let's get this thing unloaded. Alright, so that actually worked out pretty well. This conveyor belt's really coming in handy. I got this one backed up all the way against the wall. If I need a couple more inches to get the other one in, I can swing that tail bar over one way or the other. That should allow me to come back, you know, at least 4 more inches maybe here. So let's go get the other one. Now, in order for the other one to fit in here, I think I'm gonna have to put that blade on top of this blade here, just to squeak it in. I wanted to get the 25-foot long one, but they didn't have any more available, so we're gonna make the 20-footer work. All right, it's a really tight fit in here. The first dozer's all the way back against the wall. This dozer has got the blade on top of the other blade. And this still hits the seat. So I'm gonna unbolt 2 of the bolts under here, tip the seat forward, and then I'll just have to rotate this sideways. That should fit. All right, we got the seat flapped up, drawbar pushed sideways. We have the dozer blade on top of dozer blade, all the way up against one another. John Deere all the way up against the wall, and we literally just barely made it in. It looks like it's leaking a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't leak too bad in here. But look at that. It even fits. Cool. Let's go. Alright, well the horn doesn't work on this dump truck that I just bought. No noise comes out of it, so I'm gonna pop off the front cover here. I'm gonna just disconnect the battery first because there is an airbag in here, and see if there's any loose connections or corroded connections inside of here, and then from there we'll work our way forward and make sure that the horns themselves actually work and that the relay hasn't gone bad. So looking at this diagram here, it says that this location is the horn next to the windshield washer. So that'd be this one here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press on the horn quick and see if I can hear this relay making noise. So I'm just gonna set this camera here. I may won't see much, but it'll be more just to see if we hear anything. Alright, so it sounds like the relay is working. That would mean that they're getting good connection from the steering wheel up to the relay. So now our problem probably exists from the relay to the horn. So another good step would be to find out where the actual horn is located. And we could just put a jumper wire on it temporarily to see if the horn even works. If not, we might just need to replace the horn. Okay, there's the horn, and the first obvious problem is, okay, it's a little rusty, but the second obvious problem is that it's not even attached. Okay, so I got the old horn out. It was literally just dangling by the connection. So I might try to just test it, jumper wire it, but honestly at this point I'm probably just going to buy a brand new one, because this one's seen better days. So I'll have to go see if I can find one. Alright guys, we're back today, working on the new dump truck that I got. I wasn't going to film this because it was just simple oil change. I mean, not that anybody really wants to watch that, but I have been attempting to change oil now for about 2 hours. The last person that changed oil rounded off the bolt for the oil pan plug. I've tried 2 different types of extraction sockets. Neither were successful. So at this point, I've got out the welder. I've got the truck on a jack over by my power pedestal here, and I'm gonna actually weld on a socket or a nut or something to get onto that to get that off. I got a brand new plug here, so when we do get the old one out, we can swap that out for a good one and change the oil all at once. But just to show you guys like how a simple project can go from being 20 minutes to multiple hours. You know, getting out this welder and everything actually took a decent amount of time. So in order to get out that welder, I had to come over here to my shipping container, which is roughly 60 feet away, I have my backhoe, which is hard to see at the moment, but that was in here in front of the welder where it sat. So I had to go through, get the backhoe running just to get the welder out. My extension cord for the welder was set up for a 30 amp plug instead of a 50 amp plug, so I had to go through. I actually took the end off another wire for the compressor here to change that all over, and it's just, all that takes time. And then I said on top of that, I've tried 2 different extraction sockets, and neither of those were successful. So I've got like 3 hours. So I've got like 3 hours into this oil change, and I just want it to be over at this point. Also, once I get under there, I'll show you. I've never seen an oil filter that almost is rusted through, which is scary between the bolt rounding off and the oil filter almost rusting through, that the last person didn't really maintenance this very well. So let's get under there, let's get a bolt welded onto it, and let's get this out. All right, that was definitely not the prettiest, but guess what? It finally came free. So now let's get set up for the oil to come out. So, like I said, it wasn't pretty, but we got it out of there. We'll let this drain for a little bit, and I'm gonna pull the welder and stuff out from underneath here. And once it's done, we'll take off this oil filter here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like basically rusted through right here. So I'm surprised it's even still holding oil. But all right, let's get this stuff cleaned up, and then we'll add some oil. Brand new bolt, brand new oil filter. Oil's been changed. You just got to put some new oil back in it. So right, the oil's all changed and the truck's ready to go.